Chapter 5, Section 6. In this section, we are going to start graphing from our tables. It starts on page 353 in your books. So on 354, problem 1, Stephanie is driving her car to college at a steady rate of 50 miles per hour. The table shows the ratio time to distance. In 1 hour, she drives 50 miles, all the way up to 4 hours, 200. So this would be your table. Here's your double number line. Same numbers, but they put it in the double number line. Just lines up 1 to 50, 2 to 100. And then we can take that information and graph it. Remember on your graphs, x-axis, you always go across first and then up for this. So you have the x and the y axis. On page 355, it asks the questions, how do you use the graph, over and up, 1 hour goes up to 50. How do you use the table? Here's your table, same information, different format. And then the third question is the double number line, times on top, distances on the bottom. Okay. Let's go to problem 2. The adult ticket price for admission into the Rollerville amusement park is $15. The table and graph shows a ratio of number of adult tickets to the cost. Adult tickets, 1 for 15, 2 for 30. They've already graphed it for you. Go over 1, up to 15. Carnegie does not give us a lot of room on graphs. If you feel like writing an email, you could suggest that to them. The bottom of the page, the Rollerville amusement park has different charges for students and preschool age children. Student tickets are $10 per ticket. Preschool age children tickets are $5. So one ticket for a student would be $10, 2, 20, 30, and 40. Preschool, they're only $5, 10, 15, and 20. So you filled out your table. Now let's graph it. That's what the next page is going to ask us. So student tickets, we use a different color. One ticket would be $10. So over 1, up 10. 2 would be 20. If you need to draw the lines, it helps. 3 is 30. And 4 is 40. You should have a straight line going up. I'm going to use a different color. Let's graph the preschool. 1 is 5. 2 is 10. 3 is 15. And 4 is 20. This graph, a little cheaper. Here's the adult cost up here. So you have 3 different graphs all on the same grid. We already did page 358. So now we're moving on to problem 3. Pictures in the school yearbook must be in a constant ratio of width to length of 2 to 3. Ms. Ackerman says so. Complete the table showing acceptable measurements for pictures. Okay, so let's fill out our table first. Once again, you got to find the pattern. 3 went to 6. I multiplied by 2, so that's 4. Careful, sometimes it's not a pattern. 3 went to 12. I multiplied by 4, so this is going to be 8. I multiplied by 3 here. This table is a pattern. This will be 15, and this is 12. Width is x, length is y. Let's graph it. Over 2, now you got to find your intervals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10 divided by 5, we're going by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're still going by 2s here. Once again, not a lot of room. Make your best. Over 2, here's 2, 3 is going to be in the middle. 4, 6 on the line. 6, 9. 9 is in between. 8, 12. I'm going to start drawing the line. It helps. 10 over 10 up 15. 12, 14, 15 is right here. And then 10 is right there. Right there. And then the last one is 12, 18. Here's 12. 12, 14, 16, 18 is right there. Draw your line. Connect your graph. It is a constant ratio. Okay? So that's how you use your table, and that's how you graph it. Problem 4, we're going to do the same thing. Augie burns 225 calories per 30 minutes of bicycling. Complete the table to chart his calorie expenditure, calorie burns, for different amounts of time. Up here it gives us the first numbers. Here's 30 minutes. That's 225. This one's not a pattern as far as straight to the next box. I divided by 3. 225 divided by 3 is 75. 30 goes to 60. I doubled it. Doubled 225. I get 450. Now, I've got 50. I can go 10 to 50. That makes sense to me. Multiply that by 5. And 75 times 5 is 375. Now we get to graph. Look, this is X and this is Y on your graph, so you got to be careful on that. Over 30, here's 30, and I need to find 225. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going by 25s. Take 30 up, do 25 across. Your first one is there. Over 10, up 75. Over 10, up 75. There's your second coordinate. Over 60, here's 60. 450 way up here. Bring that straight up. And the last one's 50. And 375. Connect those two. And there's your graph. All right, last problem. 6th grade chorus made and sold their own mixture of trail mix at basketball games to raise money for an upcoming trip. During the first basketball game, they only sold 1 pound bags for $2.80. 1, $2.80. They got many requests to sell different size bags of their trail mix. The group decided to vary the size of the bag, but wanted to make sure that the ratio of cost to pound remained the same. Here's 1, half of that, that's a half, would be $1.40. 25 cents is half of 50, so that would be 70 cents. Now I've got my pattern. 70, 140, this is 210, $2.80, $3.50, and then finally $4.20. Now you're given a blank graph. You need to do the intervals. This is X, this is Y, X is cost, trail mix is pounds, so you need to label your graph. This is pounds, this is cost. You have to decide what your interval is going to be. What are you going to go by? Doesn't make it easy on this graph. Let's go by 25 cents. 25, 50, 75. There's 1. 1, 2, 3. There's 2. 1, 2, 3. There's 3. 1, 2, 3. There's 4. And that's 25. So my cost is on the bottom. I'm just going to go by 25s. 25, 50, 75. Here's 1 pound, 125, 150, 175. 2 pounds. I don't need to go any higher than that. I I didn't use much of my graph, so I could have changed my interval. Now let's try and graph this on this tiny little grid. My first cost is 70 cents. This is 75 right here, so I got to be a little bit left of it. Up 70, over 70, excuse me, and then up 25. It's going to be right there. 50, or excuse me, $1.40. This is $1.50. And then we go up half a pound right there. Next one would be 75 cents, or $2.10 right here. Go up 75. Okay. And then you just continue on. We don't have to finish that. Your graph is going to be a straight ratio with an upward cost. All right, so in this section, we have tables. You know how to do those. You know how to do the double number lines. They're basically the tables, but look differently. Double number lines. And then you're just going to take your information and you start graphing it. Oh, and one last thing. First joke of the year has been introduced by Peyton, as we like to call her. What do we call cheese that isn't yours? Peyton wants to know, what do you call cheese that isn't yours? That's called nacho cheese. Thanks, Peyton. That was great. All right, so that's chapter 5, section 6. Work on your practice packet. Doing great with this chapter. There are 8 sections to this chapter, so you're almost finished. Good job.